Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, colleagues. I was one of those 2 votes. This bill was brought to us by the Arkansas Bar Association. It was handed to me before it had any sponsors. I took one look at it, recognized it exactly what it is. It is an opportunity for them to find out who is speaking for or against one of the judicial candidates, one of their friends that they don't like, so they can find out who they are. They can track them down, intimidate them, protest them, mess with their credit, bring lawsuits according to this bill, and do all of the bad things. To correct something that you asked about, Representative Brown, absolutely these 501c3 groups need to be concerned. Arkansas Right to Life, Arkansas Family Council, unions, police associations, fire associations, family council, Conduit for Action, Judicial Watch, Arkansas Faith and Ethics. All of these organizations, according to this bill, if they publish anything that attempts to influence the perception of a candidate, then they have to disclose who gives them money. What does that mean? Attempt to influence the perception of a candidate. Why else does Family Council publish that big long list? Because they're saying these are people that think like we do and we like them. That's what they're doing. They're influencing the perception. Now they've got to go back and disclose everybody that's donated to that organization. Oh, and by the way, under this same bill, you are all members of the press and publishers, according to the definitions. Do you ever put something out on Facebook? Are you trying to influence others? Do you ever mention a judge's name or a candidate's name? Of course you do. Yeah, I know Judge so-and-so. That's a good person. He's a great judge, or she's a great judge, as the case may be. Or I go to church with them, or their kids play with my kids in baseball. Transparency. Folks, government has to be transparent. Private individuals have the right to be private. Transparency is for government, not for private individuals. If you want to give money to the ACLU because you believe that they stand for liberty, give money to the ACLU, but you might not want to broadcast it to the whole world. But ACLU might come out and say, you know what, we don't really like such and such a candidate for a judge because they tend to rule against the things that we intend to. That's fine. I don't care what the cause is. Or they could come out and say, we think this judge is wonderful. Now they have to disclose all of their donors. No, absolutely not. It's why I turned down sponsorship of this bill flat to begin with. Under this bill, any citizen can sue anybody, particularly an organization, if they just say you have failed to disclose all of your donors. Bring out your list again. Come in here and hire you and a lawyer and submit to depositions and interviews and court proceedings and spend a bunch of money so we can make absolutely sure you disclosed every donor that you're supposed to disclose. Maybe you did. Maybe you had no donors. But you go ahead and publish something that they don't like against one of the candidates that they're favorite. That's what's going to happen. That's what this is a get-even bill. Now let's talk about one race, because I know both candidates. I love both candidates. I respect both candidates. In the last race, we had Judge Goodson. We had David Sterling. And y'all know that there were some horrible things go wrong with the advertising. And of course, I'm talking to the camera now. Folks, the folks at the Arkansas Bar Association think you are too stupid to know when you're being taken for a ride in the press. You're not. I know that Mr. Sterling was ashamed at some of the ads that went out. He didn't have anything to do with them as a matter of law. And probably some could argue very successfully that some of those ads actually reverberated to his discredit rather than to his credit. But now under this law, we can hunt down those people and find out who donated to them and intimidate them and protest them and say bad things about them in the press. It has a chilling effect on the First Amendment. Saw that right off when I read it. And I wouldn't vote for this if it was the only bill that we had to vote on. I'll give you one final thing. When the government forces disclosure of your private information and your private perspectives and who you donate to or don't donate to, they are invading your privacy. They are doing it, the government is doing it only for intimidation. I want no part of it. Thank you very much, colleagues and Mr. Speaker.